Actually is a work of pure dark evil. It opens with Hugh Grant citing the text 9/11 victims sent their relatives as evidence that, love exists.
When the planes hit the Twin Towers, as far as I know, none of the phone calls from the people on board were messages of hate or revenge. They were all messages of love.
We are off to an insane start. It sounds desperate, doesn't it? It sounds like this man is grasping at the weirdest straws one could imagine, but this is the movie's core emotional theme. Its central thesis that love is totally real, you guys.
If you look for it, I've got a sneaky feeling you'll find that love actually is all around.
Cool idea. Bold. Love exists, and I didn't make it up just to trick you. In order to show us this, Love Actually takes us through the loosely connected romantic lives of an extensive ensemble cast and has us watch, judge, and delight at their variously goofy little love stories. And when I first watched this movie as a kid, I thought, this is not a strong argument for the existence of love, because this movie is so far from romantic that it might as well be a stern look from your mother. Welcome to my hate video. Let us assess the great filth of Love Actually.
And off you bye.
No.
Now, I love when my movie opens with some Mr. Beast-style bottom text. This was a pioneering move. Love Actually is all around. Oh my god. Wow.
Love actually is all around. All around. All around.
Shortly, we're introduced to our 5,000 characters, and okay, I get it. There's an appeal to this ensemble style of storytelling. We're thrust into little moments of perfect specificity, like my favorite moment of the movie when Keira Knightley has munchies.
Munchies?
And my second favorite moment of the movie when Colin Firth does this weird, cute little kick.
Molto bueno.
Why does he do that? And my third favorite moment of the movie when these kids practicing for their school nativity use Barney the dinosaur as their baby Jesus. As one should. These are the moments of delicious flavor that give the film's world a pretty fun and good sense of interiority and offer us a glimpse into an imaginary version of this film that throws out all of its nastiness in favor of embracing the genuinely cute little moments that, to me, would be more representative of some kind of genuine love and delight. That's what Keira Knightley's munchies mean to me. My point is, the ensemble works. The loosely connected community of very famous actors is fun and unique, and lends itself well to a novelty feel without crossing all the way into cameo territory.
Casting.
Yes. it was all down to us, wasn't it?
Unfortunately, the sheer power of the immense, interconnected cast cannot save this movie from its clumsy, grimy scenarios. To fully induct you into the depths of its cringe, I will now detail the movie's 9 major plot threads. Plot 1. Martin Freeman meets Stacy from Gavin and Stacey at his job as a body double for movie sex scenes. They make several of these scenes together, and in the process, they fall in love. The very funny joke here is that they are pretending to do sex together, but they don't have a sexual relationship, only then they do. Haha. The movie just doesn't care that much about these characters. It's really just one limp joke that the film wants to do. I do not ship them, separate them. Plot 2. The Prime Minister meets his new employee, a young woman who cannot resist saying swear words.
And I've gone and said shit. Twice. I'm so sorry, sir.
Men go crazy for a woman who says words like poopy and balls, so of course he instantly says, awooga, give me a kiss, milady.
Oh, piss it.
Oh, she's so sexy for that one. She just said ass. He cannot keep a handle on his incredible attraction to this woman, and so he gets so jealous of the visiting US president for also fancying her that he delivers a pleading, tragic little speech about how we, Britain, won't let you, the USA, be mean to us anymore.
I fear that this has become a bad relationship. We may be a small country, but we're a great one too. The country of Shakespeare, Churchill, the Beatles, Sean Connery, Harry Potter. A friend who bullies us is no longer a friend. And
you guys, we literally did Harry Potter. Guys, you cannot disrespect us. We made the boy wizard. We made Dobby. Everyone thinks this speech is awesome. Everyone in the UK claps. This is an epic win. Sometime after this, though, Hugh Grant PM knows he has to lock his penis away and do his job, so he fires Natalie for being sexy.
I'm sure she's a lovely girl, but I wonder if you could, redistribute her.
But he soon changes his mind and hunts her down by knocking on random doors in her area, leading to my fourth favourite moment of the movie, which is when his bodyguard is revealed to have the voice of a god.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the
Snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that...
Good. He reunites with her and she says bugger or bum or something because she's so low class and profane, and that's what men who attend Eton crave the most.
Where the fuck is my fucking coat?
And they're able to consummate their deep, incredible, cross-class love with a little kiss. Powerful stuff indeed. America doesn't cuck us, we cuck America. And that's what's right. Plot 3. Colin Firth's girlfriend has sex with his brother, so he goes away to his cottage in France to write a novel. But oh my god, oh no, the housekeeper is an alluring woman who he can't speak to because they don't speak the same language.
Bonjour, Aurelia.
Bonjour.
Je suis,
Naturally, they are insanely attracted to each other, and one time he sees her in her undies because his papers fell into the lake, and so she, in a moment of pure insanity, dives in to retrieve them.
Oh god, she's in.
What does she think she's doing here? What's the plan? Girl, it's over. The ink is running. Girl, I know you just wanted to show Colin Firth your ass, and I don't respect her. He learns Portuguese to ask her out, and the whole room claps. Plot 4. Colin, not Firth. This is the character whose name is Colin in the movie. I like to maintain a level of unpredictability as to whether I'm going to call a person by their character or actor name, so just try to hold on. But I can't keep saying Nick from My Family for this one, even though that's what I'm calling him in my head all the time.
Listen, Nick, I don't think it's a good idea. You might end up with a stalker.
I'm getting one just thinking about it.
Colin, the Love Actually character, is a slimy and unhinged Essex boy who fails to attract an English woman because of his deeply off-putting serial killer energy.
I am Colin, god of sex.
He convinces himself, through what information I don't know, that the solution lies in switching to American women, because he knows the ultimate truth that Americans are sluts who love orgies. True.
I've just worked out why I can never find true love.
What's that?
English girls. They're stuck up, you see. And I am primarily attractive to girls who are, you know, cooler, game for a laugh. Like American girls. So I should just go to America.
You might think this is going to end badly for him, but it turns out he is correct. Within minutes of touching US soil, he finds 4 gorgeous women who immediately say, hey, you're British, so we must lay nude together. I don't make the rules.
We just have a little bed and no couch. So you would have to share with all 3 of us.
And on this cold, cold night, it's gonna be crowded and sweaty and stuff.
Yeah.
And we can't even afford pajamas.
No?
This little Englishman wish fulfillment cope is pathetic, and I cringe every time I see this. But I have to say that this clip where they all enjoy the word bottle is, however, incredibly real.
Bottle?
Bottle.
Plot 5. Emma Thompson's plot is one of the worst crimes ever put to film. She's married to Alan Rickman, who is having an affair with this woman. She's also Hugh Grant Prime Minister's sister, and she thinks that the Harry Potter stuff he said earlier was mind-blowingly cool.
The trouble with being the Prime Minister's sister is it does put your life into rather harsh perspective. What did my brother do today? He stood up and fought for his country. And what did I do? I made a papier-mâché lobster head.
Did she cause a diplomatic disaster by calling the president of the USA stinky today? No, she's just a simple woman. Anyway, she finds out about Alan Rickman's affair after discovering the ugly necklace he panic bought for his mistress, and we enjoy an extended scene of emotional Joni Mitchell-related devastation, which the movie hammers into us in its most extreme moment of melodrama.
I've looked at love from both sides now.
This is the movie's most severe emotional moment, and I hate it for a few reasons, but most prominently because of the way the movie wants to have its devastating cake and eat it too. We watch this woman break down, destroyed by betrayal, pacing around the room, screaming into her hands, etc. We see her in despair, revealing to her husband that she knows what happened.
Would you stay? Knowing life would always be a little bit worse.
To which he responds, ooh, I'm so dumb, I'm so stupid, I'm a silly guy, I'm a fool, I'm silly, I'm dumb.
Classic fool.
And then that's it. At the very end of the movie, we see they're reunited at the airport, and I guess she's fine now. They have a little kiss, and they are seemingly still together.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
These few seconds undermine the entire emotional core of this plot thread, effectively throwing out the most impactful part of the movie there, and they basically say to us, well, whatever, seems like love is good. What? What do you mean? This shatters the theme of the movie. This bludgeons the movie's ostensible conclusion. Love is all around us, even when the people we love choose the most cruel actions possible. Is love all around us in the sense that good, virtuous, forever loving Emma Thompson ultimately chooses forgiveness over destroying her husband's Ford Focus and moving to Greece to become a sun-kissed beach lesbian? What the hell is going on? This is filth. This is a thoughtless ode to cruelty in the guise of examining the breaking and mending of a relationship, which it doesn't even really do. It just says, yeah, they're together, I guess. It's fine. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Plot 6. Sarah is a graphic designer who works with Alan Rickman, and she's in love with her manager, who is literally Xerxes from 300.
The soul, the essence of the character, it's just right there. You know, he existed once. It's actually a huge responsibility to play this guy.
That's right, it's Rodrigo Santoro, the Brazilian actor who played the most iconic naughty guy in 300. Woo, Xerxes! Xerxes in the house. Xerxes spotted. Xerxes mentioned. It seems like he likes her too.
Just one dance before we run out of chances.
So with some encouragement, they end up in bed together, only at the crucial moment, she gets a call from her brother.
Huh?
Who is disabled in some way and in a home.
My brother, he's not well, he calls a lot.
I'm sorry.
This, for some reason, means that she can never have sex with her hunk. They don't, have a conversation or anything. She just attends to her brother, and they act like this somehow means they can't have a relationship.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
She cries about it, but doesn't express to bespectacled male model graphic designer Xerxes that she wants to be with him. She just doesn't really, she just weeps. For the life of me, I can't understand why the movie did this to me, and did it so lazily. Just put this sad, we can't be together mini plot in, just so we can feel bad for a second? Why though? Why can't they just make love and chill out? Okay, whatever. Wronged again by the movie industry. Plot 7. Keira Knightley is getting married, only this guy, who is not her husband, has a big crush on her. Oopsie, he's the best man, so he's tasked with making a video of the wedding, only he can't resist the temptation to completely ignore the groom and make a personal Keira fan cam instead. She ends up seeing this, and I gotta say, I love how he acts when he knows she's just about to play his special video and that there's nothing he can do to stop the discovery that's about to take place. Good stuff. Later, he makes the unhinged decision to carry out a sneaky cue card-based love confession on her doorstep. For this weird behavior, she actually rewards him with an open-mouthed kiss. It's like a little consolation prize. He doesn't get to keep her, but he does get a real kiss from her one time as a little reward for liking her. And then he's like, okay, got my one kiss. I could move on now.
Enough. Enough now.
A reaction no one in the world would have ever. Okay, freak, I don't believe you. I don't believe you're gonna move on from Keira after she gives you a kiss. Call me crazy, but I think that's gonna spur you on. Plot 8. Liam Neeson's wife, Joanna, recently died, and his little pipsqueak of a son is suddenly obsessed with a girl at school.
I'm in love.
Sorry?
Who is also called Joanna.
And her name's Joanna.
Yeah, I know. Same as Mum.
Weird, and he keeps talking like an 18th century nobleman about her.
She's the coolest girl in school. And everyone worships her because she's heaven.
Now, I hate child romances at the best of times. It makes me feel uncomfortable and squirmy, but this one particularly bothers me because he's just way too serious about it. He starts to be frightening.
Joanna's going back to America.
Your girl's American?
Yeah, she's American. She's not my girl. And she's going back to America. That's the end of my life as I know it.
And Liam Neeson encourages this far too enthusiastically.
There's this big concert at the end of term, and Joanna's in it. And I thought maybe if I was in the band and played absolutely superbly, there's a chance that she might actually fall in love with me. What do you think?
I think it's brilliant.
Yes, son. Why don't you present her with a lock of your hair when the moon is full and the clock strikes 12? Why don't you give her a vial of your blood and recite an incantation that will bind your souls forever? Let's leap through security and run through the airport just to say hey.
Joanna. Sam? I thought you didn't know my name. Of course I do.
God, just get him a Game Boy Advance and a copy of Disney Sports Basketball or something. That'll fix him. That's the cure for dead parent disease. Not any of this doomed evil limerence. Stop it. And lastly, plot 9. Billy Mack is a grumpy old has-been rock star releasing a novelty Christmas single.
Christmas is all around me, and so the feeling grows.
He participates in some interviews about the song, swearing indiscriminately, and keeps saying various crass and gross things because he's so Gen X rebellious and tells it like it is.
The best shag you ever had?
Britney Spears.
Wow.
Which ultimately increases his popularity with the masses, allowing him to achieve a Christmas #1.
And here it is, #1 from Billy Mack. It's Christmas is all around.
Oh, Jesus, not that crap again!
His love story is to some extent with the unseen British public who love to feel like they're participating in something that feels irreverent and transgressive while actually being straightforwardly corporate. But moreover, it's with his manager, who he has a heart-to-heart with at the end of the movie, telling him that more important than his newly renewed fame and success is his love for him. His dear manager who is always there by his side.
Much as it grieves me to say it, it might be that the people I love is, in fact, you.
Okay, wow. So what can we deduce from these inspired and astonishing plots? We can more or less discard the movie's stated message, and in fact it feels as if the movie itself discards it for the most part. It pays lip service to this idea that people love each other, a meaningless statement to begin with, but the movie seems to be fundamentally less concerned with love and more with the tricks of love. The way love breaks, the way love must be abandoned, the way love operates as a distraction for grief. But perhaps most interestingly and most enragingly, Love Actually, the movie, ignores all of the messy things it uncovers and papers over the cracks in our messy social world with its glib Christmas merriment. We're expected to cheer on the little boy as he projects his entire conception of self and security onto a little girl he barely knows, convinced she is his eternal soulmate, convinced a romantic fairy tale conclusion will make him whole.
General wisdom is that in the end, there isn't just one person for each of us.
There was for Kate and Leah. There was for you. And there is for me. She's the one.
It's supposed to make sense that his father thinks he should totally go for it because he himself wishes he'd expressed more love to his dead wife.
Tell her that you love her.
No way. Anyway, they fly tonight.
Even better. Sam, you've got nothing to lose and you'll always regret it if you don't. I never told your mom enough. I should have told her every day because she was perfect every day.
Itself a skin-deep cover for the unshakable wish that she was simply still here. We're expected to find it sweet that Keira Knightley and the best man share this moment of connection and truth, find it noble that he comes clean and decides that this is his moment of closure, find it charming and lovely that he is rewarded with a kiss. Just a simple kiss. But like, girl, if my wife Keira Knightley responded to the situation with a kiss on the mouth, I'd be like, are you serious, Keira? Keira, you are supposed to kiss me. What the hell, Keira? And we are expected, I guess, to just not react to the final scene of Emma and Alan together, where she seems to be just fine now after recently having her heart stomped on. Actually, I really don't know how we're supposed to react to this scene. It feels like they just forgot to conclude this one. Forgot to have any kind of transformative element. Just said, yeah, I don't know. They stay together, I guess. It's a weird, upsetting cop-out that takes every genuine emotional core you could have assumed this movie was taking seriously and just throws it away. Just sweeps it right out of here. But that's not the only plot thread that ultimately tacks the movie's faux romance. There's Sarah and her failed connection with her cutie, and this one is nonsense. They both like each other, they both know they like each other.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Carl.
They both make it very clear to each other that they like each other, and yet they do not end up together because she has one family member she is somewhat responsible for. Why is this love reciprocated, steamy, and actively beginning to happen thwarted? I don't know, man. I guess maybe it's the destiny of women to nullify their desires and devote themselves to a man in their lives at great personal cost. Maybe, I don't know. What fascinates me about these two misery plots is that they are the only plots in the movie that situate a woman as the perspective character. In all of the others, you're seeing events more from the anchor point of the guy's perspective. And in all of those guy perspective plots, the boys come out on top. It all works out in the end. Martin Freeman gets his Stacy, the Prime Minister kisses his swearing woman, Colin Firth gets his new Portuguese queen, Colin character name gets his Americans, guy who is in love with Keira Knightley, doesn't win her, sure, but he does get a kiss in the sense that it's all someday soon, gonna be okay. Liam Neeson and his son both get a new lady, wow. And finally, Billy Mack gets to be the smug owner of the Christmas #1 single, and he gets to chill with his boy. What's going on? Love Actually is strangely kind of a lads movie. It's clear in many little moments of the movie that it lives deep in the lads mag, page 3 wahey culture of the early 2000s.
Buy one, get one free! Tesco sells misogyny!
And it's not just pure British love of innuendo. Much as Come Dine With Me has made clear that that's the core national identity.
You can't even poo without me knowing about it.
And that is true.
I don't know why we're like that. I don't know why we made the Carry On films. I don't know why our brains cook that way, and I do despise it. But as much as the influence can be deeply felt in the lowest moments of this film,
You have this kind of problem? Yeah, of course you did, you saucy minx.
that doesn't explain why, instead of giving its two serious ladies their own wahey, it gives them only pain. But of course, even the boy perspective romances aren't too cute. I find them all distasteful because I'm a high-minded and stern woman, but let's be real, even the nicest ones are kinda gross. Maybe you're thinking, oh, it's cute that Colin Firth learned Portuguese for this lady, and sure, maybe, but I'd like to remind you that one, it's Colin Firth.
What are you doing here? I don't have to try. I am clever.
I'm for revolution.
You would allow Colin Firth to do any evil act, don't lie to me, and two, while you could read it as indicative of this man's utter dedication to this woman, it's also just like a guy ogling a mute woman who serves him. It doesn't activate my cute stuff gland, is what I'm saying. Colin Firth chasing a dog around a field would be arguably 10 times more romantic. The only plot that breaks through the movie's straightforward, asinine view of love is Billy Max. His story is loosely about coming out of the empty farce of something that has the veneer of success and choosing to honor genuine connection over the sneering persona he has successfully marketed for his comeback. This is the only scene which appears to really speak to a true affection, and Billy can hardly say it. He struggles the entire time to be openly sincere, strangely reflecting Love Actually's own inability to craft relationships that feel deep and layered and loving for its characters, despite its ostensible core of sugary Christmas romance. Billy Mack's love for his manager feels more legitimate than pretty much any other love in the movie, and yet he is, to the very end, compelled to couch it in avoidant jibes about how fat this guy is.
I've gone and spent most of my adult life with a chubby employee.
When I was rewatching Billy's scenes via a YouTube compilation video, I saw this comment. The thing I like about Billy Mack is how brutally honest he is. He has no filter. You either like him or you don't. There's no middle ground. I wish I could be as honest as him. And I found it fascinating because this is exactly what the movie portrays and then, strangely, refutes. The people love Billy's irreverent, greasy boy persona, just as they love Hugh Grant's anti-US speech.
If I reach #1, I promise to sing the song stark naked on TV on Christmas Eve.
They suck up this unchallenging, smug stuff and buy his horrible single because it makes them feel rebellious. But he's not honest. This is not a guy telling it like it is. This is a guy hiding behind an abrasive outward image to protect his real feelings. And Love Actually's approach to exploring the complexities of love and relationships has the exact same issue. It doesn't commit to exploring the weight of betrayal, of grief, of taboo, of projection, of desperation, embarrassment, empty desire, giving up. It wants to explore these things, but it doesn't want to explore them. And the only moment in which it cracks open for a second and gives us a glimpse into the real dark heart of love is in Billy's final scene of awkward, uncomfortable sincerity. The movie cannot be honest with us about the nature of love. It is, like Billy Mack, too afraid. So when I first saw Love Actually, I knew I had just seen one of the most evil films ever made, yet other people seemed to like it. Weird. It must be, I thought, because I'm the only pure being in a world of corrupted souls. But I was a fool back then, an ignorant baby barely crawling through life. Now, I've watched all the Love Actuallys, and I know the truth. I'm a wizard looking into a cloudy orb, seeing everything, where you see only murky darkness. So let's talk about New Year's Eve, the 2011 movie where Zac Efron and Michelle Pfeiffer kiss. This movie is, like Love Actually, focused on the relationships of its loosely connected ensemble cast during the Christmas period, but this one takes place, as you may have deduced, on New Year's Eve. It also takes place in the city of New York, baby! There's a kind of kitsch sensibility to this one, with the way it loves New York immediately and just a little bit too much. In this film, it's about to be 2012, and all of these people are about to have life-changing eves. Okay, quick rundown. This woman is in charge of the ball, but the ball breaks. Uh-oh, she gives a speech about absolutely nothing, and the ball lovers go crazy for it.
Hello, I'm Claire Morgan. The ball has stopped. It's suspended there to remind us before we pop the champagne and celebrate the new year, to stop and reflect, because that's what New Year's is all about. So when that ball drops at midnight, let's remember to be nice to each other. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Robert De Niro is hallucinating in his hospital bed. He's dying, and he thinks Halle Berry is his dead wife, but she's actually just a nurse chilling out. Michelle Pfeiffer falls directly into a big pile of rubbish, gets mad at the person who tries to help.
Yeah. No, I'm fine, go away.
And then quits her job to make a weird deal with Zac Efron, who agrees to help her complete a bucket list by midnight.
My New Year's resolutions. I just took care of the first one.
You quit your job. All right.
If you can make the rest of these come true by midnight, you get these.
Meanwhile, Jessica Lange is about to give birth, and so is this woman. Their hospital is doing a sweepstakes where the first birth of the new year will win the mother a cash prize.
The first baby delivered in the new year at this hospital gets 25 grand.
So they compete to see who can bear a child first. This woman gives birth first, but they lie and tell the other couple that they got it as a beautiful, generous New Year's gift.
Exactly at 12:04. And yours was when?
12:05.
Meanwhile, Ashton Kutcher and Lea Michele get trapped in a lift together and fall in love, even though he insinuates one time that she's nasty.
You're a groupie?
This guy tries to drive from an out-of-town wedding back to New York to meet a woman.
New Jersey?
New York!
He gets a ride from Lisa Simpson when his car crashes, and he tells her the story of this mysterious woman.
I met a woman.
And she's like, I'm Lisa Simpson. And I loved what I just heard. Meanwhile, Katherine Heigl is really mad at John Bon Jovi, who backed out of marrying her a year prior. Also, in this movie, he is the famous Jensen. We all love Jensen. Oh, how we all love Jensen. Sarah Jessica Parker, however, won't let her daughter go to Times Square for the famous and beloved ball drop that we all love to see.
Honey, I'm sorry. I'm not comfortable allowing you to stay in Times Square at night alone.
But she sneaks out because she needs to go kiss a boy there. Back to the ball lady, she gets that ball fixed up, and so she can finally go visit her dad, who is the Robert De Niro character. character. They watch the ball drop together because that is his dying wish. He craves that ball, and he dies. Sad. Halle Berry nurse Skypes her military man, I guess at the stroke of midnight or something, and the way the scene goes, it seems to imply that he's going to be killed in action for sure very soon.
This is gonna be a great new year because you're coming home really soon.
I hope so.
Zac Efron takes Michelle Pfeiffer shopping and they get her a dog and they name it Kong.
Something manly like Kong.
And then they kiss.
What the hell are you doing? I'm twice your age.
Final resolution. Midnight kiss on New Year's Eve. Boom! Check it off.
Lea Michele and Ashton escape the lift and she goes directly to her job as the backing singer for Jensen. This is the movie's most iconic moment, and I like the way it kind of moves on from Ashton quickly so Lea can have her incredible moment. Like, they're together or whatever, but more importantly, she is going to sing Auld Lang Syne now.
For Auld Lang Syne.
Yes! Turns out that this guy is Sam Ahern.
I am Sam Ahern Jr.
Ahern being the company that's doing this Darling Jensen event. He talks to his mum about how he's tired of all the slags now. Even though the slags love him eternally, he must go off now to find a non-slag.
Oh, you pretty little girls are here.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to think I need something more than just pretty girls with nothing to say.
Noble, bold, mature, and who is this pure, upstanding woman that he swaps all the slags for? It's Sex and the City Carrie, of course. Jensen's nemesis forgives him and they get back together, and finally, SJP's daughter is devastated when she sees her crush getting a kiss from another girl. But 2 minutes later, it turns out it's all okay, it's fine, he didn't even like that, didn't even want that, he'll kiss her now. Then the movie has some outtakes which I always really love, and in one of them they pull Valentine's Day Blu-rays out of a vagina.
Oh, you are a goddess.
Valentine's Day is Gary Marshall's previous and very first Love Actually, which we will get to shortly, but the important thing to know is they're pulling it right out of that womb. So this movie is a bit different from Love Actually itself in some key ways. Firstly, the plot threads are much nicer. Basically, all of these stories are happy ones, except for Robert De Niro death, and they're simple, comforting, non-cheeky events. The scenarios in Love Actually were a bit more complex and more dramatic, but even for that loss of complexity and texture, I think New Year's Eve is honestly the better movie. It's charming, and it feels more in keeping with the basic spirit of celebrating love. Like, it's nice for Zac Efron to cajole this woman into getting a puppy. It's nice for this couple to give Jessica Lange and her husband their win. And, like I said, Lea Michele Bon Jovi duet, huge. That makes a movie incredible. Nothing can beat this. Or can it? So that's one post Love Actually, but there are more. Clearly, the original movie, Love Actually, was very popular. The narrative direction the film takes is easily the most interesting thing it has going for it. It manages to create a reasonably believable world despite its bawdiness. A world of repulsive creeps maybe, but you know, a world. The thing felt fresh and unique, but like it had somehow always been there. Gary Marshall, noted director of The Princess Diaries, Pretty Woman, and The Princess Diaries 2, Royal Engagement, sensed this. In 2010, he made a Valentine's Day Love Actually called Valentine's Day. In 2011, he made the New Year's Eve type Love Actually that we've just assessed, and in 2016, he made a Mother's Day type Love Actually, which, you guessed it, is called Mother's Day. But before we get into those, there is also a fourth Love Actually type movie. This, my friends, is 2015's Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, or New York Christmas, as the title screen shows, is the Love Actually type movie that just does Christmas again. The premise is that a handful of different groups of people get trapped in lifts.
What was that?
It's the Ashton Kutcher Lea Michele plot from the last movie taken to a place of incredible lowness.
Oh, I know, it's just the worst thing ever, isn't it?
This movie was not made by Gary Marshall. It is a different beast, and we can tell that instantly by the bizarre, inconsistent tone that pervades it, a telltale sign of low-budget filth.
Everything that ever will occur is subject to laws that are knowable. And with enough of that knowledge, you could literally understand everything. And to live in recognition of that gulf between what is knowable, which is everything.
This movie wants to be hilarious and massively thoughtful, and has the skill to do neither. It is unserious to an extreme and gives us the gift of 4 designated adult baby characters for some reason.
Give me a little run. Whoa, 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 whoa! Almost started to pee.
Many of the choices in this film are beyond weird. We have the crashed car electrocution plot that begins the whole premise, immediately too cartoonish. We have a romance between a normal woman and the creepiest man in the world.
I'd like to take a picture of you.
Stop! Hey,
Come on,
stop!
show me what's under that shelf.
Stop!
And then there's the cruel atheist doctor.
God, Whitebeard, angels. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
Okay. Let's start from the beginning. A musical troupe is trapped in a lift. One of them shoots a gun. This other group, including a muscly guy and the 2 quirkiest girls in the world, are trapped together.
Maybe we should jump up and down to get it going.
Yes.
No. No.
That's Michael Moon from EastEnders, by the way, and he's putting mints in his shoes to seem taller for some reason. I don't really get it, but that's fine. Meanwhile, the guy who caused the outage that trapped all these people in lifts is himself trapped in his vehicle, because if he moves, he'll get juiced.
Your van is also connecting the 2 halves of the backup line. The reason those elevators haven't fallen to the ground is because your van is conducting electricity to their emergency brakes.
A group of medical professionals are trapped in the hospital lift with that dying patient, and she's sleepy right now, so these 2 proceed to discuss the legitimacy of Jesus.
God knows who I am.
I guess this is a Christian hospital because there's this weird poster on the wall, which makes it even stranger that this doctor is a mean and cruel atheist. Like, why didn't you just go work in the atheist hospital? Why didn't you just do that? He literally hates God so much, though.
It's just not real.
The lady argues that the Big Bang was totally weird and unbelievable, so you shouldn't discount the possible existence of God because that's also, like, super weird.
14 billion years ago, there was a Big Bang. And out of it came planets and stars and vegetables and cavemen and the 5 of us all sitting right here in this elevator. Is that possible?
You bet it is.
And is it also crazy?
Damn, I never thought of it like that before. Why is it so sad this woman is dying, by the way? Well, she's actually a beautiful young wife.
A beautiful young wife whose heart is being strangled. Now, explain that and a loving God to me.
If God was real, sexy people would never die. And you know that. Meanwhile, Patrick Stewart is a mean guy.
You better get this elevator moving in 1 minute, or I will find you, fire you, and then make sure that you are fired from your next 3 jobs after that.
Yes, Patrick Stewart is here in the Mormon Love Actually, and no, I do not know why.
Welcome aboard, Lily.
He gets trapped in the outside lift where it's cold and he can easily fall. And at first he's rageful, so he mutters to himself. But later, he's regretful, so he mutters to himself, with swelling music this time, so you know it's an emotional moment, and you should be feeling deep empathy with this guy who was kind of a meanie before, but now feels a little bit sad.
They dress you up. They tell you you can buy everything you want. Act like you own the world. But that isn't it. We were rich. James, Jimmy. So sorry. I blew it all.
Patrick is literally doing his best, but it is extremely funny to watch him say this awful, awful dialogue completely alone.
I've got a lot of stuff. That's not what we had. All this other stuff. It's nothing.
A woman in another lift has met a serial killer.
Why would you possibly want to hide how beautiful you are? I mean, what are you afraid of? Little old me?
He starts taking photos of her, a normal and cool thing to do to a stranger unprompted, and at first she doesn't like it, but then she's like, this rocks. I love this.
Let's do it.
Back back in the hospital lift, everyone debates what color the patient's car is.
$10 says it's red. Why? Musicians love red.
Riveting stuff. One of them says it's probably brown because her hair is brown.
I bet it's brown. Look at her hair color. She's kept it natural.
The most insane logic I've ever heard. Trapped in a lift boredom is frying these people's brains. At this point, the movie is starting to get to its poignant speech stage. You'll be delighted to learn that every single lift group gets to do an amazing, powerful, emotional speech. And each time, you will be hearing those strings. That's how you know how to feel bad. The toddler women discuss what the saddest thing ever is, and they come up with bad things happening to a puppy.
Saddest thing you can think of? Go. A puppy in a full body cast, and he's crying, and in the reflection of one of the tears, there's a unicorn, and he's starving to death.
I hate these women. Ladies, I despise you. I do like the way this woman asked to see the muscly guy's boob tattoo, though.
What about this one? One.
Just show me your breasts, sir. And that is simply the greatest tattoo I have ever seen. Love me? Now that the freak has charmed his captive, he throws a candy bar at her in the most guy giving his dog a treat type manner imaginable.
You earned it.
I meet a woman in a lift, I treat her like a little doggy, I live happily. There's also a lift that has 2 business guys in it, and I just don't care about this plot at all, so forget about it. They don't do anything, they're just kind of there. Oh my god, this woman in the music troupe has a similar tattoo to the muscly guy. The mermaid? Okay, so this movie connects the characters in each different lift together, you know, as these movies do, only it makes such a big deal out of the reveal moments. Oh my god, these two have matching tattoos because she's the woman he talked about getting a matching tattoo with.
Who's it for?
Friend.
A girlfriend?
Not anymore.
Oh my god, this girl's boyfriend is the business guy I neglected to mention. Oh my god, this guy is married to the beautiful young wife. Whoa, that's crazy, that's crazy.
My wife, she had a small tumor removed.
It's pretty over the top, but I think this is actually my personal favorite thing. Just how much it leans into the kind of dramatic importance of these meaningless reveals. It actually convinces me to be excited for a second to find out this information. Wow! Everyone's totally connected, you guys. That's awesome. Oh my god.
Damn biker.
Oh my god, Dingley knows Dongly and William knows William? Who would have guessed? Anyway, the patient wakes up, they tell her she's gonna die, and she demands that the group do a prayer for her.
I need something from you.
What's that, Karen?
I need you to pray for me.
The atheist doctor doesn't want to do it, but he does it. He leads the prayer. The music swells.
Dear God, if you're there.
He's there.
This is right. Checkmate atheist. Prayer literally feels amazing. The woman and her freak have a weird conversation now. She says, if you really thought I was beautiful, which, you know, you've been telling me in this lift, and wanted to capture my beauty with your camera, how come you had to put makeup on me, huh? Does not that change me in order to make me beautiful? Meaning that I am not really beautiful?
You changed me.
What?
Well, you wanted to prove I was beautiful. And the first thing you did was change my hair and makeup.
An insightful enough question for someone who is all too willing to entertain this boundaryless man, but his response is fascinating. This is his meaningful speech moment.
Whose photo was it that I just took about 300 times?
Someone you made me pretend to be.
No, that was you. I took those pictures of you. And if waking you up and welcoming you back to the rest of us is wrong, then you can lock me up and throw away the key. Because when some East villager with non-prescriptive lenses in his glasses makes concentric circles of elephant shit on a canvas and calls it art, I thank Monet. I thank him for painting lily pads instead of the dead carp floating on top of the pond. I lost my metaphor.
The true you is the one who conveniently conforms most to beauty ideals, and that's awesome. Don't worry about the artificial nature of the vision of beauty we're working with, girl. Don't think about that, because actually, this artifice is only an extension of your natural feminine soul. You're not like ugly, nasty art. You're like Monet. You're like his static, floating lily. Not even shifting gently on the water, just held still in oil to be looked at. There's Monet and there's Poopy. And you don't want to be Poopy, do you? So that's why I put makeup on you, sweetie. It's a powerful ode to the divine ultimate truth of the woman as ornament, and she accepts this intellectual treat like an obedient dog. This little art hater speech is especially interesting when we see the way the movie closes out. This is the weirdest part of the movie, the part that communicates beyond a shadow of a doubt that it took itself seriously and wanted to be capital A art, wanted to say something, and massively failed to achieve the tone or characterization that would have helped to, make a compelling study of the themes it's going for. Michael Moon, as it turns out, works at an art gallery, and tonight he is supposed to be doing a tour of an exhibition about
abstract art in a post-abstract world.
Why does he smile like that? To demonstrate this, he acts it out for his liftmates. He says,
The French art critic André Gide famously stated that art is a collaboration between God and the artist, and the less the artist does, the better.
Insinuating a kind of respectful obedience at the heart of creating something. He details some pieces and how we might interpret them, while the film shows us all the other lift dwellers and the violins of the musical troupe play gently.
Leading off, our exhibit is a piece entitled War Crime. Based on the title, the viewer might expect to be presented with a traditional battle scene, but is instead presented with the image of a mirror painted on a large chunk of cardboard.
This coincides with this dude's van catching on fire. He's fine though. He doesn't stop, drop, and roll, but a firefighter blasts him, so it's fine. He's okay. He lives a long and rich life, probably. The final piece he describes is, in fact, impossible to describe.
The unique size of canvas, the colours, the variety of media, leave it all as open to interpretation as possible. I wouldn't even know how to describe it if you asked me to, because it defies every attempt at description and categorization.
This piece must be God himself, our final understanding of him as an unknowable yet surely beautiful piece of art. We must believe in his greatness, even though he cannot be communicated. This is such a fundamental, big Christian idea, and maybe its single biggest weak spot, as well as its single greatest power. The unquestionable expectation of blind faith is, for so many people, the breaking point, because we want to interrogate and talk about God, what he is and what he represents. God is, at least in the modern world, an abstract creature, an invisible symbol of thought, belief, unification, obedience, morals, whatever. And while the elevator freak tells us abstract art is poopy because it's thoughtless and ugly and dumb to him, this strange art gallery angel tells us that God is abstract art in a post-abstract world. We should believe in him. We should know that while this art cannot be described and discussed, the vibes are crazy. Accept and honor the vibes. We may be the artist teasing out images and ideas, but God is a bigger part of art than an artist could ever be. We ought to trust and give in to his great, unfathomable design. And you gotta ask then, what if God wants to make the elephant poo thing? What then? The lifts start moving finally. Two people in the musical troupe fall in love, so this woman shoots her gun again in pure glee. This girl kisses the nasty boy, even though he lied about being a photographer. He actually works in a morgue.
I work at the morgue.
And takes photos of dead people. And she is the girlfriend of the business guy from the business lift, which is a crazy reveal. Drives me wild.
I have a boyfriend.
And some sudden pipes come at us as the credits hit. This movie manages to make a relationship movie where there essentially aren't any relationships. No one really has any chemistry, there's no consistent tone, but we're just here to assess one relationship, really. In the end, it's just about the nebulous relationship between us and God. And I guess that's the ultimate ensemble. Just me and God. When the beautiful dying wife wakes up and is told she's going to die within 2 weeks, she says instantly that she doesn't want her husband to be told.
I'm not going to tell him.
Why not?
Well, he already knows too much about everything. He doesn't need to know this.
This, too, gets at the core of what the movie is expressing. We are powerless, and this is a good thing. My favorite scene, though, occurs during the ending, after the big art tour climax has happened, and everyone is allowed finally to leave their little electric purgatory. These guys exit their lift into a strangely heavenly mall, and Michael Moon stands silently watching them at the bottom of the escalator, like a sad, tiny angel as they drift away. What's he seeing when he looks at them? Why does he want to look taller so bad? Why does he give this woman who sits next to him on a bench mints from his shoe? It almost seems like he is a bereft angel, impotent in his role as a communicator of God's will.
You need to know your place, girl! Because you are an acolyte! You serve me!
In this little moment, the entire movie is almost undermined by this one searching look. A heavenly being looking with intense longing at humanity, powerless to change it. In his eyes, perhaps, the only love that has ever honestly been given. So, that's a weird one, but we got some more of them. We must now return to Gary Marshall and his gorgeous legacy. Valentine's Day was his first foray into the beautiful world of making Love Actuallies. And just like with Love Actually itself, I was driven to an incredible rage by this one because of one evil plot in particular. But out of all the Marshall-verse films, this one most accurately achieves the spirit of Love Actually. It's 2010. The first iPad just came out, and Ashton Kutcher is a florist delivering flowers across the city on this beautiful day of love. He proposes to his girlfriend, and she is not that into it.
It's really beautiful. For someone else.
His bestie, Jennifer Garner, is sleeping with classic evil doctor Patrick Dempsey. Dempsey orders 2 sets of Valentine's Day flowers at the florist because he has a secret wife.
I need 2 arrangements, something special, long stem roses for each one of my ladies.
And Ashton Kutcher, in full genius mode, recognizes the address of his friend on one of them.
These are the addresses for the ladies.
Oh no. He debates telling her about it, but when he sees her, she is surrounded by an army of rowdy children, so he has to go.
He came into the shop.
That's it! I can't talk right now! I'll have to call you later!
The kids ask her if she's in love, and they absolutely lose their minds at how funny that was.
Are you in love with anyone?
They knew that was the comedy gold of their day. Ashton's girlfriend breaks up with him, which convinces him he actually for real really has to tell her, so he rushes on over to the airport to let her know and stop her from making a surprise V-Day visit to her cruel, evil, nasty man.
He's married.
What?
She doesn't believe him though and goes anyway, only to find out the truth from his hospital co-workers, which is so awkward.
Is Dr. Copeland married? Not divorced and not separated, just full-on married to a woman named Pamela.
They just celebrated their 15th anniversary.
Can you imagine being this woman? Wow, we're gonna be gossiping a lot within the hospital today, I fear. Anyway, freed from their bad partners, Jennifer and Ashton can kiss now.
I'm about to kiss my best friend.
I hope so.
And Hathaway has a new boyfriend. He finds out she does phone sex because she takes one of her phone sex calls at dinner for some insane reason, and he hears her and acts really mean about it.
I'm out.
No, Jay, are you gonna call me?
Well, you know, I'd like to say yes, but I don't know if I can afford it. I'm sorry,
Jennifer Garner has a friend called Cara who hates Valentine's Day so much that she holds an annual hater party.
It's gonna be me all alone at my own party.
Jamie Foxx also hates Valentine's Day.
What does Valentine's Day mean to you?
It gives me acid reflux.
The two haters meet and fall in love. That's awesome. That's good. That's great. End of story. Simple. Just like in Love Actually, this movie brazenly also includes a little boy who is in love, and he spends the runtime building incredible stress levels in his body because he needs to get flowers to the object of his affections now.
She doesn't know I love her.
She didn't get her flowers. She doesn't know.
Now, as it turns out, the person he loves is his teacher, Jennifer Garner. So she has like 3 romantic options here in this movie. Wow, girl. What are you gonna do? Pick the child. Go for it. Queen Latifah works with Anne Hathaway and finds out about Anne's phone sex because she literally takes the calls every second of her life, no matter what she's doing, including at work. But it's fine because Queen Latifah loves it.
You got away with dirty words. I like that.
There's also a football celebrity. He announces that he is gay at a press conference with the most iconic line of the movie, "I'm gay and I'm gonna play."
No, I'm not retiring. I'm gay, and I'm gonna play.
I love hearing that. I want to hear it again. Bradley Cooper and Julia Roberts bond on a plane.
You're on Facebook?
They talk about their loves. Julia's special little guy.
You have a loved one in LA? How long has it been since you've been home?
11 months.
And how long do you get to stay?
Just till tomorrow.
And Bradley's recently destroyed relationship that can never be salvaged.
I'm recently single. We weren't on the same page.
Julia goes to her little guy who is actually her child and not a man at all. Whoa, oh my god, crazy reveal. And Bradley goes to his own special little guy, the quarterback, who he can now rekindle his romance with, after all, because he's gay and he's gonna play.
I'm gay, and I'm gonna play.
Emma Roberts is this little boy's babysitter, and what she's concerned about today is having sex.
Today at lunch, I'm gonna have sex with my boyfriend for the first time. First time having sex for both of us.
She's planning to try it for the first time with her boyfriend, but she's like, I don't know, man. I don't want to do it, I think. She talks to these grandparents about it and says, we're going to different colleges soon, so we probably won't stay together.
He's going to Stanford, I'm going to Yale, and it's just hit me recently that it's gonna be really hard to stay together.
To this practical assessment, the grandfather tells her, no, girl, you can be with anyone forever, maybe. It totally happened to us. To which grandma looks super uncomfortable.
And it's not like I'm gonna sleep with one person for the rest of my life, right? I mean, that's just crazy. Who does that?
No. Crazy people like us, we did.
No. What? That's amazing.
In the end, Emma Roberts decides not to try out sex, but for some reason, instead of saying the really normal college thing she said earlier, she says this.
I guess I thought that if we did this, we'd have this special bond, and now I'm realizing that something like this you can't just plan, you know? It has to happen.
We have a chance to make it happen.
But did you hear what you said? Make it happen? We shouldn't have to make it happen.
Girl, what does that mean? It seems like the movie just wasn't quite sure whether it wanted her character to be not ready to do it or just the most practical and big brain teen in the world, logical brain. And so it decided ultimately to go with neither of these things and pull this line out of its ass. We shouldn't have to make it happen. It seems like actually planning is what it's all about for you right now. It seems actually that you love planning and you made this decision because you love planning. But okay. Whatever. Taylor Swift is here, and she is amazing.
I'm on the dance team.
Maybe you could show us a little bit.
5, 6, 7, 8.
This part of the movie is deeply quirky, but I think it runs so far into incredible full cringe that it is actually just great. I love watching these Taylors. I love when Taylor 1 says Taylor 2 is an amazing athlete, and then he does an insane flip.
He's an amazing athlete. Go show him, babe. Go show him, go show him. He's so good.
I love them. I support them. And finally, the most rageful plot thread ever created. After Gramps has been gassing up their amazing long-lasting relationship and talking about how special it is that they're each other's first loves who have only ever had eyes for each other, blah, 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 the grandma reveals that she once had an affair.
It wasn't anything at first, and
You had an affair.
Yes.
So Grandpa storms off, but he ends up going to their special Valentine's Day spot, which she knows to find him at. She arrives and begins saying villainous dialogue.
Listen to me. I know I let you down, and maybe you don't think I deserve your forgiveness, but you're going to give it to me anyway. Because when you love someone, you love all of them. That's the job.
Huh? No. For real? Absolutely not. No, stop. Stop being evil now. They kiss and everyone claps, and this guy is so inspired by the incredible power of infidelity that he decides to go apologize to Anne Hathaway. And, you know, several blood vessels of mine completely burst while that was happening. And now I know my life has been shortened because of the rage. You know, I thought that the Alan Rickman, Emma Thompson, swept under the rug, no big deal cheating plot of Our Dearest Love Actually was the worst, but this makes explicit what was implied by the rushed ending of that thing. It is your duty to forgive a cheater. Love requires you to sacrifice yourself on this altar. Interesting then that Jennifer Garner leaves her cheater, perhaps not because he cheats, but because she has always really loved Ashton Kutcher.
She's like sunshine. Everything is better when she's there.
This lends a kind of mystical quality to love. It acts as your destiny. If you don't love someone, somehow you can sense that. Ashton Kutcher's girlfriend at the beginning of the movie senses it, so she leaves. Emma Roberts senses it and can't quite put a name to it, so she backs out of her virginity decimation plan. But the old couple can't do this. They cannot escape because their love is not a decision, but a spiritual grip that can never be truly weakened. And so the only option is to submit to it, betrayed or not, changed or not, adulterous or not. Sadie Doyle wrote in The Guardian, "The cumulative effect of Valentine's Day is to make you feel that all human emotions are shameful. Have you ever been sad about a breakup, had a crush on someone, wanted your ex-lover back, been happy to meet somebody promising, wanted to have sex? You are terrible. You are feeling the same emotions portrayed in the movie Valentine's Day, and these emotions, Valentine's Day confirms, are cheap and disgusting." It's a strange, incredible paradox, the godlike eternal reach of the movie's idea of love, and the utterly cheap relationships we see it shift through on screen. And I think maybe the most real romance on display here is the one between the Valentine's Day haters who are able to bond over some real aspect of their personalities. Even if that thing is just cynicism.
Bye. Don't know how to do that.
Or maybe the overeager freak Taylors, who may well be presented as a parody of immature love, but in their bizarre, over-the-top way, at least approach some kind of humiliating, reflective passion.
Baby, are you okay? Walk it off, baby. Just walk it off. You're still hot, baby. You're still hot.
This truly echoes Love Actually's hateful conclusion. Love is everywhere, and it's not worth much. Submit to it anyway. That's what you do.
Marker.
Mother's Day, the one about mothers. Okay, let's talk about Gary Marshall's final holiday movie delight, 2016's Mother's Day. If you thought the others were bad, this is worse.
My name is Humpty. Pronounced with the umpty.
Number one, it's boring. Number two, it has a much smaller cast and so loses the allure of the massive celebrity ensemble. And number three, it's racist.
You got a trailhead for a husband?
Don't worry about anything else. We're going to zoom through most of this. Let's go. Julia Roberts has an estranged daughter. Jack Whitehall does a stand-up routine with his baby and the audience eats it up.
Does anyone in here have a baby? No, obviously you don't. You're here, having a life.
This guy sees his daughters at their mother's grave and goes, "Oh, I gotta get out of here immediately. I gotta go." This child angrily fails to kick a football.
Knucklehead!
Good performance. And Jennifer Aniston has a clown experience.
Always the traditional things that work. The bottomless sleeve hanky, the bottomless cup of coffee, the bottomless love from a mother to her kids.
Thank you, clown.
Now, throw all that stuff out of your mind because this movie is going to grapple with breaking no contact with your evil bigot parents. Sarah Chalke and Kate Hudson are sisters. Sarah hides her female wife from her parents, and Kate simply doesn't speak to them anymore because years ago they didn't want her to be with an Indian guy. Although a confusing line has her kind of unclear about this.
I don't even remember what our stupid argument was about.
Oh, let me refresh your memory. She saw a picture of you and Russell on Facebook, and even though he's a doctor, she threatened to disown you if you continued to date a man whose skin was darker than a frappuccino.
Okay, I get it.
Oh, you forgot about the racism? You actually just forgot about the racism? For real? You forgot you finally went no contact with your mother because she was just so racist? Oh, okay. Guys, could this script have used a little bit more drafting? Could this script have just gone another round in the drafting process? For some unfathomable reason, Kate re-establishes contact with these nasty parents.
Do I know you?
It's nice to see you too.
Finally calling to apologize after all this time.
Nope, just calling to call.
Gabby told me you're not dating that Indian fella anymore. Finally came to your senses.
They are, surprisingly enough, still racist. Excited by this returned relationship though, the parents show up unannounced at Kate's house and soon discover the gay wife and Indian husband.
We're wives.
No! Jessie's not married.
Oh, yes, she is. Yes, she is. To me.
To him.
Gay wife and Indian husband have joined my little white family. A gay wife and an Indian husband. The world is far too strange for me, so I cry in a rage every day. Can't believe that one of my daughters has an Indian child and the other is gay. What can I say? Oh, gay wife and Indian husband have joined my little white family. Oh, a gay wife and an Indian husband. The world is far too beautiful for me. They storm out in rage, and we learn that Kate, in fact, not only hid the husband from the parents, but also hid the parents from the husband.
Well, I'm Jesse's father.
Okay, that's not funny, pal, because Jesse's father and mother are in a dementia facility in Arizona, right?
Dementia, my butt!
So now her husband is mad.
You lied to me about your parents!
I lie to everybody about my parents.
Oh, that's reassuring.
I lie about my horrible life.
And I have to ask, why on earth did she lie about that? Why didn't she just say, my parents are racist? Why did she just pretend they died? Why'd she do that? The parents head for their camper van, but discover it has a flat tire.
Tire, it's flat.
So I guess they have to stick around. Yay. The mother ends up talking to the Indian mother of her Indian son-in-law.
Are you having a beer?
Yeah.
I think I'll join you.
And this is where the movie cures racism by putting one of the most confused lines of dialogue that has ever been written into an Indian character's mouth.
Plus, you can drive 20 miles in any direction and find some sand when you get homesick, right?
I don't get that joke, but it sounds racist and funny.
She did not understand the joke, but because she thought it sounded like it was racist, on that basis alone, she assumes it was funny. Because this is a woman who understands that racism rocks and is always funny. They also have a frank moment where they each say they hate the other's ethnicity and didn't want their child to be with someone of that ethnicity, and they're both just super chill about this.
When Russell told me he was in love with a white girl, I wanted to punch a wall.
Well, at least you knew about it.
They get each other. They bond over how similar they are on this one. And so the movie is like, yeah, they're alike. They're the same. I think you're nasty, and you think I'm nasty. And now that we've said that, maybe it cancels out. That's how racism works, right? Let's be best friends. Okay, so racism is over. Just like that. A lifetime of visceral disgust for anyone with dark skin is cured by talking to one white-hating woman for 2 minutes. Who knew it was so easy? Who knew the world could be so beautiful? So now the white parents and their white daughters kidnap the Indian husband, and the brakes are broken on the van, so they speed to their deaths. The husband is like, no, I love you, I don't want to die, I love you. And now that the marital spat has been solved by the fear of death, white dad reveals that he was lying.
What the hell happened? Nothing. I lied. The brakes were fixed.
The brakes are fine, babe. I was just driving dangerously on purpose, and that was awesome of me. We all loved that. The police have followed their speeding vehicle and ordered them out of it, and as soon as they see one person with dark skin, they start screaming and pulling out their guns.
Anybody else?
Hi, it's just me. Okay.
Whoa, get on the ground.
On the ground! Get on the ground!
Fortunately, one cop recognizes him as her doctor, so they don't shoot him.
Wait, it's okay, you guys. This is my doctor. He fixed my knee.
This is a funny scene. This is like the comic relief scene that comes after the climax of averted disaster. It's a really funny and good scene about police brutality and racism that really makes me chuckle and laugh, tickles my sides, makes me giggle. None of the other Love Actuallys have anything resembling a racism plot, but this one slammed into it like a monster truck going full speed through a minefield. And once again, we have an example of the nebulous message of loving each other and coming together used to essentially say endure, submit, suffer. Throw away what's good and accept the shit of the world. That's what love is all about. And the audience is left alone in a dark room begging for one simple thing. Stay no contact. Don't do this. Okay, so those are the incredible Love Actuallys, each of them repulsive in their own special way, and together crafting a sad picture of what our social connections mean. Before all these holiday-themed delights, however, in 2009, the year Michael Jackson died and League of Legends was born, came He's Just Not That Into You. This esteemed film, based on the 2004 book of the same name, is about how men wrong women and offer them hideous, warped simulacrums of relationships.
Knew it. You asshole.
I'm sorry.
To that end, it's an iconic deviation from the general Love Actually idea, and in some ways, it's the antithesis to these movies. The Love Actuallys, as I've said, tend to be about keeping the peace, accepting a certain status quo, being nice and good and faithful in the face of massive disrespect and betrayal, or weird and greasy behavior in general. Kiss the freak, love the cheater, stalk your prey. But He's Just Not That Into You breaks this, says no.
I know what blowing off a woman looks like, okay? I do it early, I do it often. So trust me when I say, if a guy is treating you like he doesn't give a shit, he genuinely doesn't give a shit.
In this movie's world, there are not 10 different ways love can manifest. There are not complex, contributing emotions to assess. There's just a person treating you as if they want you, respect you, love you, or not. If he cheats, says this movie, clearly he just doesn't love you. He's Just Not That Into You is interesting because it essentially straddles the line between misogyny and actually good, empowering advice. The book emphasizes its author, Greg Berent's condescending sleazebag ways. If I'm really into somebody, I want to put it in them and then take it back out and then put it back in them later on. Shut up, Greg. The book frames him as a sort of masculine prophet descending from the heavens to distribute otherwise untouchable knowledge to the lowly women of the world. We had excuses for all these men, from broken dialing fingers to difficult childhoods. In the end, one by one, they were shot down by Greg's powerful silver bullet. Greg's a man who is bad and bold enough to go behind the curtain and reveal the evil truth that no matter how charitable you are towards them, men are nasty, and it's cooked into the bones. He says this about why a man should call a woman and not vice versa. I'm not advocating that women go back to the Stone Age, I just think you might want to be realistic in how capable you are of changing the primordial impulses that drive all of human nature. So there's a weird dual approach here which combines some outdated gender essentialist ideas about how men think ooga booga and women think unga wunga or whatever, with the very straightforward idea that you should just believe that guys are treating you exactly the way they want to. This man was the straight guy consultant on Sex and the City, and this book honestly reveals quite a lot about why that show so often feels so tragic and impotent. The general structure includes the female co-writer of the book, an actual Sex and the City writer, responding to Greg at the end of each chapter with a kind of exploration of why that chapter's rule is hard to follow. It's kind of a good cop, bad cop routine with a man telling you what's hard to hear, that men being evil are actually just evil, and the woman coming in to say, listen, I get it, we've all been there. You want the guy who called you ugly and stinky to be good deep down, but listen to old wise Greg. He's an insider. He knows the facts. nuts. And it kind of works. The book is an interesting artifact of the time. On one hand, there is the deeply outdated, condescending tone, but on the other, the simple idea of pulling yourself out of the endless, empathetic speculation that's possible in your head to coldly assess the real actions of your crap man is pretty great. There's also a powerful section on covert abuse and how you can easily convince yourself it's normal, which I think is really valuable and well done. The film didn't include an interpretation of this part of the book, but it does something interesting for a second with the sleaziness and cruelty it's exploring. The movie takes the author of the book and makes him this character, a guy who explains to Ginnifer Goodwin here that her innocent hopes about relationships are naive. He's a nasty boy himself, but you know, he's being real with her, so maybe he fancies her, maybe he likes her. She thinks she's figured this truth out and tells him so.
I knew it. The best relationships grow out of friendships.
And he gets unbelievably mad at her.
Why do they do this? Why do they build up this stuff in their minds, take each little thing a guy does and then twist it into something else? It's insane.
To which she responds with this.
I may dissect each little thing and put myself out there too much, but at least that means I still care. And, oh, you think you've won? Because women are expendable to you?
This is an interesting moment of insight that until now has been sort of ignored by both the movie and the book. I was a nasty boy too, says Greg several times in the book, until I met my amazing wife. I manipulated and used women myself. That's why my advice is so good. But we're never really given space here to judge these men. In fact, arguably the entire premise is predicated on detaching yourself from that emotional response. Although I think that's essentially necessary. Moving away from that kind of reaction and just assessing behavior is for many a liberatory way of dealing with weird men, but it's bold how the way it's explored sidesteps any discussion of what that greasy behavior actually means beyond that he's just not that into you. So I love this moment where she breaks out of this for a second, says, "You do not respect us. You do not view us as people." Yet at the end of the movie, Alex is redeemed. He comes to her, he tells her he wants her, so the outcome is, of course, not that she can start excluding misogynistic weirdos that don't care about her from her life, but that she can finally get a nasty boy on the right day.
That same wise person told me that I am the rule, that I have to stop thinking that every guy will change, that I have to stop thinking that
she's the exception. She's the lucky one. She's been picked. In a media landscape crammed full of bland, uninspiring romances at best and self-punishment endurance propaganda at worst, the concept of a movie about a bunch of women who are unloved by their scheming men and discover that they shouldn't accept that is a major slay. Yet ultimately, the protagonist will accept her stinky man and we will talk of it no more. While he's just not that into you does to some extent smooth over the harsh realities of modern hetero romance in the way that a rom-com must, its exploration of female despair is still meaningful. Love Actually posits that cringe and disrespect and betrayal and loss for no damn reason is kind of a beautiful, weird tapestry. But it gives us a vision of love so bland and empty as to make Barney the Dinosaur's classic song I Love You feel like Wuthering Heights.
I love you, you love me.
So I do think He's Just Not That Into You is a flawed movie, but it's one that at least presents us with the basic ladies' question, what about me? What about what I want? What about me? In 2017, the cast of Love Actually reunited for a sequel short, broadcast during the live annual Red Nose Day charity telethon. For the most part, it's not really notable. They do a little follow-up for each of the movie's plots and essentially have them partially recreate a memorable scene. Everyone's still together. This guy has a non-Keira Knightley partner now. The child is an adult and he met his child girlfriend again years later, so they're getting married now. Blah, blah. Blah blah. Except, that is, for Billy Mack, whose manager is dead.
You haven't got your manager with you here today. Tell me, has he finally left you after you being so rude about him?
Not really, Mike. He was a big man with a big heart. Big heart attack.
Why do they treat that like it's hilarious? Ooh, he had a heart attack. Damn. It feels almost like a strange punishment for having let a sliver of sincerity slip out of this character, especially with the extremely goofy tone this short takes on in comparison with the original movie.
Eu estou grávida outra vez.
That's great. That is great. Can we have rice with it this time, though? I'm getting a little tired of stir fry.
It's striking to have this single, low, sad moment in the middle of it. The only moment of pause. The only negative outcome to be presented to us here. The only thing that resembled earnest love struck down while Hugh Grant tumbles down the stairs. It's wrong. I know what you're thinking now. Hold on, Lily. You've forgotten the last Love Actually. You've forgotten Dumb Money. Yes, okay, true. This 2023 film about the GameStop stock Reddit experience too has a disparate ensemble coming together through their wispy connections, in this case, Reddit.
Your balls?
It's even a love story of sorts. These two college girls get together, and Paul Dano's wife, Mrs. Tris Divergent, is very supportive of his unfathomable streaming life. But most importantly, there's the great love they all share. The love of the principle of never selling your GameStop stock.
That's like all of the money that we made back into the stock. Yeah, you can't let them get away with this.
Until the end when they do mostly sell the stock. I don't think this movie's very good, and it's not a true Love Actually type. It's just about a bunch of people who love Reddit and don't know each other, but I do want to focus on these two relationships for a second, because I'm interested in the ways they manage to work, manage to communicate something that has 10 times the genuine romance of Love Actually, even through the most flimsy, undeveloped relationships you can imagine. We actually hardly see these girls, just cut back to them occasionally, so we know they're still not going to sell their stock, but even with the skeleton of a connection that we see here, we get like a tiny little bit of cuteness. They meet at a college party. One is dared to put her hand down the other's pants, so she does it.
Hi. How are you?
She's crazy like that. She'll do anything. They have a conversation in this awkward position and they like each other. And you can feel this little bit of chemistry, you know, it exists.
Oh, I purchased 3 shares of stock.
Okay, what stock?
GameStop.
Later, we cut back to them, and they're a couple. We don't see it happen. We're not that interested in their lives outside of GameStop, but there, in that little moment, is the glimmer of chemistry. And it works. You know, it's fine. And there's Paul Dano and his Divergent queen, who literally just love each other. It's understated, it's simple, but it's good. She's holding her breath while he webcams into his hearing. She's excited and supportive when he wants to hold on to the stock for longer.
You're gonna sell, right?
No! I mean, I don't know. We haven't talked about it.
I think hold.
She believes in him. She's relaxed with him. And it's just real. I believe in these two. I support their love. I ship it.
'Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling.
I do think the fact that these relationships are background details in the movie allows them to breathe, but it's striking how much this film manages to make its slight relationships feel reasonable and good in comparison with the attempts of so many rom-coms. What's the deal with that? I watched The Decoy Bride recently, which is a movie about David Tennant trying to get married to a famous woman who is played by the Irish nanny from Sex and the City 2, without the paparazzi showing up. The couple go to a remote Scottish island for evasive reasons, and he meets a weird woman there who he eventually falls in love with.
I was just pretending to be the ghost of this cow, which of course sounds completely mad.
But the thing is, David Tennant's character is completely and utterly unappealing. And I know you're saying to me, what do you mean it's David Tennant? I know, I'm telling you. He's literally rude and annoying and mean to her constantly.
Still living with your mum, pretending to be a movie star, writing a guidebook about an island that no one will ever visit. That's pathetic.
I can't understand what I'm supposed to find romantic here. Is it that he abandons his fiancée?
He said to tell you, the only person he ever wed was you. But he and Lara let the press think they were married.
Is that romantic? Is that sweet? No. And so, when they fall in empty love and get together in the end, I am once again mad. What is it with rom-coms and their struggle to portray something really romantic? Yes, you expect to get a conflict, it's a movie, but like, My Big Fat Greek Wedding literally exists and makes you feel like these people really do love each other.
I was front girl.
I don't remember Frump Girl, but I remember you.
brief encounter exists and makes the relationship between Laura and Alec feel tender and intense, even though it's an unwise, doomed, miserable affair.
I shivered, and Alec put his arm around me.
Cold?
No, not really.
Happy?
No, not really.
Romantic comedies are so often about women debasing themselves for the most unappealing, unromantic man in the world. The weird cultural decoy of a love worth having is proliferated by them over and over again. This guy is playfully mean to you, and that's cool. You want that. That's good. That's why it genuinely feels kind of amazing to watch the opening of He's Not That Into You, which starts with a searing indictment of the practice of telling little girls that boys hit them because they like them.
That little boy is doing those terrible things because he's got a crush on you.
Do you know what this means? We're all encouraged, no, programmed, to believe that if a guy acts like a total jerk, that means he likes you.
Love Actually and its degraded doppelgangers crave a depth that they can't have. They're doing quirky, silly stuff and tiny, discordant snippets of cute at their best, but ultimately they are celebrity greetings cards, a facsimile of love that you give to your coworker, a thin, cheap image that says, this is what you want, right? Take this. The secret Santa bath bomb that you're never gonna use, but that you have to accept and just keep in your house forever because that's what we do. That's our vision of love. No thanks. I think I want better than that. I took a What Love Actually character are you quiz, by the way, and I got Colin Firth's character. So.
Eu sou Colin Firth. Mostre-me sua vagina.